Hi, my name is Joe, Friends of Empire Wine, and I'm here to talk about our latest grab-and-go 4-pack. So sit back, relax, and stay warm. Here we go. Our first wine is Caprara Nero, and it's a Fiano, is the grape varietal, and this comes from the ancient region of Salerno in the region of Campania in southern Italy. If you're not familiar, this is the city of Naples, and the surrounding area is the wine region that encompasses Mount Vesuvius, and it's all ancient volcanic lava flows here that make this region unique. So this comes from Salerno, which is in the south, and the Fiano varietal is an ancient varietal going back to Roman times, and we actually think even further back into the Greek times, but in the written record we know it goes back to well over 2,000 years. A beautiful wine with seafood. If we think about what we consume when we think about Naples, and it's the white sauces and pastas and fresh seafoods, and thinking about preparing for Valentine's Day, this would be beautiful with lobster. It has just enough of the tropical fruit, the kiwi and the banana, and then a little bit of the citrus, which keeps it lively and fresh in your mouth with a little tangerine and stuff like that. And then it has a really long and succulent, rounded finish. Really intense wine. I hope you enjoy it. It is definitely more of a red wine drinker's white wine, is what I like to say, because it has a lot of structure and length to it. So I hope you really enjoy it. Our second wine today is a Sauvignon Blanc from Duncan Savage. It comes from the Cape Town region of Stellenbosch in South Africa. Duncan Savage is the winemaker and the label, and he walks through the regions of South Africa looking for these unique vineyard sites, and he found this one. It's called Salt River. These are 32-year-old vines of Sauvignon Blanc, which 32 doesn't sound old in human years, but for vines, especially Sauvignon Blanc, this is ancient. So these vines produce really intense fruit, and he takes this fruit and ferments it in cement eggs, which is almost kind of like mad scientist type of winemaking, and it brings out this creamy texture in this Sauvignon Blanc. So you get a lot of the same characteristics of New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc with the kiwi and the lime, but it has a little bit more of a creamy, waxy type texture to it. Almost a little, you taste a little fennel and a little like asparagus, a little green vegetable in there. Really versatile white wine. And to me, with food-wise, you just think of something on the bone, like a nice chicken or pheasant or something like that. Really pretty, and it also would work well with white pasta sauces and stuff like that. So I hope you enjoy it, and we're going to move on to two red wines in a minute. Okay, our first red today is from the estate of Badia di Cotebona. This is in Tuscany, and this is a Chianti Classico, and this producer is an ancient producer. The estate actually goes back to the 10th century when it was created as an abbey, and actually the original abbey parts of it is still on the property. And of course, any good abbeys, they grow grapes, and so the vines that have been, the land that has been around the abbey have been making wines, like I said, for almost 1,000 years. The Stucchi family, who owns the Cotebona at the moment, are in their 6th generation, so they're new, but they're not that new. And the Roberto Stucchi, this is labeled RS. This is the winemaker's Chianti Classico, and he is making a wine in a modern style. Chianti right now is kind of a confusing region because they have the traditional old school style, and then you have these modern styles. So there's really two camps of winemaking in Chianti Classico. The grape here is Sangiovese. Usually with the traditional ones, they're blends, but with the modern ones, the winemakers are really bringing out the perfection of Sangiovese. So you get the sour cherry, the leather, the violets. I always vision like it's when you're walking down a country Tuscan road and the dust kind of gets up and caught into your face. You kind of smell that in these wines. And coming with Valentine's Day, there's nothing more romantic than having a bowl of spaghetti and red sauce with someone special and opening a bottle of Chianti. There's probably no better pairing than red sauce and the Tuscan grape of Sangiovese. So I hope you enjoy this as well, and we'll move on to our next red. And our last wine today is from Josh Phelps, from winemaker fame. This comes from a family, a long line of winemakers in the Napa Valley, and Josh Phelps has started his own label called Grounded. This is a Cabernet Sauvignon, and it has the California appellation. What's unique is with California, Napa fruit has gotten so expensive that a lot of winemakers are forced to move further north up into Mendocino and Lake counties, where they're really sourcing some really beautiful Cabernet Sauvignon at very more moderate pricing. So Josh here has sourced his Cabernet fruit from up in the north, but then he's adding 25% Merlot into this blend, and it's coming from the Helena Yountville region of Napa, really the sweet spot of Napa Valley for Merlot production. So 75% Cabernet, 25% Merlot. It's 12 months in new oak, so you get a lot of the oak flavoring. And when you first put your nose in it, you get the clove and the cinnamon spice and some dried herbs, and then all that black fruit kind of just comes roaring at you. And I recommend to definitely decant this, as with all the wines that we've tasted here today, but this one would definitely benefit from about an hour of decanting before enjoying. So put it into any clean vessel, glass vessel you have, and just let it sit there. It'll really do wonders for it, and it'll guarantee that the last sip won't be the best, which to me is always a crime. But look for the dark fruit in this wine, and definitely want, the tannins are really ripe but somewhat aggressive, so it needs something, like a London broil or a nice piece of New York strip to really tame those tannins and bring out the ripe fruit flavors. So I hope you enjoy this. This is a beautiful one for these cold winter nights that we're enjoying at the moment. So I hope you enjoy it, and see you soon.